My daughter called me a burden. I fought back and crushed them. Y'all, I moved to Dallas for my grandkids after my wife passed, but they locked me out and starved me. My legal stand torched their lies. This Reddit stories ain't rage, it's revenge. Taking back my worth from drama family shade. Ever get burned by kin you trusted? Drop your city below? What's your drama story fight? Smash that like, subscribe for more Reddit heat. My hands shook as I hauled my suitcase into Dana's deep Ellum basement, June 2024, the Dallas heat sticking to my flannel shirt, a chipped coffee mug left on a folding table. My wife's slippers sat empty in my mind, her cancer fight still raw after a year. I'd sold our house to move here for the grandkids, their giggles a lifeline in the quiet after the funeral. Dana's "it'll keep you busy, Dad" sounded like hope. But Rick's smirk at the door felt like a warning. I dropped my bag on the concrete floor, no windows, just a futon and a mini fridge humming like a bad omen. The stairs creaked as Rick led me down, his drawl sharp. "Here's your spot, Tom. Bathroom's got a lock. Keeps things organized." Organized? I nodded, my chest tight, the jukebox from a nearby bar thumping faintly. I didn't want to fight on day one, not with the kids' hugs still warm from the porch. Next morning I shuffled upstairs, the oak-lined street outside glowing under the sun. Dana was at the stove stirring soup, Rick on his laptop. I reached for the pantry, my stomach growling. "Going somewhere, Tom?" Rick asked, his grin cold. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. He didn't. "We like you to ask first," he said, eyes hard. "Teaches the kids structure." Dana kept stirring, her silence louder than his words. I froze, my hand dropping. "Ask to eat?" I said, voice low. Dana's spoon paused, then scraped the pot. "He's right, Dad," she muttered, not looking up. "You're not a guest. You're a burden." My gut twisted like a punched bag. Burden? I'd paid for her wedding, her college, rocked her through asthma nights, and now I was a burden? I nodded, slow, and shuffled back downstairs, the mug's rim biting my palm. The basement's hum swallowed me, Rick's structure and Dana's burden looping like a bad song. I'd slogged through chemo vigils, hospice silences, my wife's hand gone cold, thinking family would pull me through. But Dana's soup stirring and Rick's lock said different. I wasn't their dad, just an old man in their way. Clara's call buzzed. "They're wrong, Tom. Don't stay." I stared at my suitcase, my wife's hide money from her final days raw in my mind. Flashback to last summer, Dana's Oak Cliff porch, 2023. She'd hugged me quick, said, "Move in, Dad. The kids need you." Rick stood back, his organized faint. No hug, no nothing. I thought that's what family was, showing up, no questions, even when your heart's broke. I sank onto the futon, the mini fridge's buzz mocking me. My grandkids' giggles upstairs felt miles away, Rick's lock a wall between us. I'd sold my home, my life for this, a basement and a burden label. Clara's "you're enough" buzzed again, grounding me like a Texas oak. I wasn't here to beg for scraps or take their shade. I'd come for family, but they didn't want me. Not really. My hands didn't shake no more. They thought I'd stay quiet, but I was just getting started. I stood, my boots scuffing the concrete, the city's neon flickering through a high window. Rick's "ask first" and Dana's "burden" were their truth, not mine. I'd fought through too much, my wife's loss, their bills, my grief, to let their lies stick. The grandkids deserved a grandpa, but I deserved respect. I grabbed my wallet, my wife's $140,000 insurance fund, a secret they'd never touch. They'd learn real quick what burden meant when I walked out. Ever move for kin and get shade instead? Drop it below. My coffee mug sat cold on Dana's deep Ellum kitchen counter, July 2024, the Dallas heat pressing through the blinds, my flannel shirt damp from hauling laundry up the basement stairs. Dana's burden jab and Rick's bathroom lock still stung like a fresh cut, their ask to eat rule a chain I hadn't shaken. I'd moved here for the grandkids, their giggles a flicker in my grief after my wife's passing, but this oak cliff house, half paid by my pension, was their cage, not my home. I thought family meant showing up, but they'd made me a ghost in my own daughter's life. I slouched at the table, the jukebox from a nearby bar thumping faintly, my stomach growling. Dana packed a cooler, her family vacation dad clipped, Rick zipping bags by the door. "Y'all mind if I tag along?" I asked, my voice low, fishing for a scrap of belonging. Dana's eyes flicked to Rick, her, not this time, soft but sharp. Rick grinned, his drawl cold. "Need some nuclear family bonding, Tom. You'll be here anyway." My chest tightened, their grandkids' toys scattered upstairs, out of reach. "I'll watch the house," I said, nodding slow. Clara's, "They're cruel, Tom," buzzing in my head. Rick snatched my car keys off the hook, his just a safety thing landing like a slap. "Don't want you getting lost." I stared, my hand still. "Can I hit the store at least?" Rick's grin widened. "Fridge is stocked, old man." The door slammed, their SUV peeling out, the oak-lined street outside glowing under the sun. I shuffled to the kitchen, my boots heavy, the pantry's padlock glinting like a taunt. I yanked the mini fridge open, mustard, a sour water bottle, nothing else. My stomach twisted, not just from hunger but fury. I checked the trash, 2 loaves of bread, a rotisserie chicken, tossed fresh like a message. "You don't belong." Dana's burden and Rick's safety looped, their lock a wall between me and the grandkids. I'd paid for her college, her wedding, and now I was starving in her basement. I stormed to Rick's office, my breath short, the BBQ joint's neon flickering outside. He'd bragged about his vault to neighbors, flashing the code, 2007, their wedding year 11, his old jersey, thinking I wouldn't notice. My fingers punched it in, the door clicking open. Inside, $300 in 20s, 2 watches, a Glock I didn't touch. I grabbed the cash, my hands steady. "Not your hostage," I muttered, scribbling a note. "You locked the food. I ain't your burden." Clara's "get out" buzzed, grounding me like a Texas oak. I called a cab, the driver's radio humming as we hit a Deep Ellum motel, its sign buzzing like freedom. I sank into a chair, burger and fries hot from a nearby joint, my first real meal in days. My phone buzzed, Rick's voicemail. "You stole from us, Tom. Come back or I'll call the cops." I laughed, raw, the city's hum wrapping me. "Call 'em," I texted, "and tell him why you starved me." I hit send, then blocked him, my chest light for the first time in months. Flashback to last spring, Dana's Oak Cliff porch, 2023. She'd hugged me, said, "Move in, Dad, the kids need you." Rick stood back, his organized faint, no warmth. I thought that's what family was, giving up your home, your heart, for a chance at theirs. I leaned back, the motel's AC humming, oak shadows dancing outside. Dana's burden and Rick's lock were their truth, not mine. I'd fought through my wife's cancer, sold my house for this. A pantry lock and mustard? Nah, I was done. My wife's $140,000 insurance fund was mine, a secret they'd never touch. I'd come for the grandkids, but I deserved respect, not a cage. They'd learn real quick what nothing felt like when I walked away for good. Ever break free from kin who caged you? Drop it below. My boots scuffed the worn carpet of a Deep Ellum motel room, August 2024, the Dallas heat seeping through a rattling AC, my coffee mug cold beside a burger wrapper from a nearby joint. Dana's burden jab and Rick's pantry lock still burned like a fresh bruise. Their abandoned Oak Cliff house, half paid by my pension, a bitter memory. I'd fled their basement with $300 from Rick's vault, my wife's $140,000 insurance fund, a secret sparking hope. I wasn't their doormat no more, and this motel, smelling like cigarettes and freedom, was my chance to fight back. I sank into a creaky chair, my flannel shirt unbuttoned, the jukebox from a Deep Ellum bar thumping outside. Rick's voicemail, "You stole from us, Tom," sat unanswered, his call the cops threat hollow after they'd starved me with mustard and water. Clara's "Use that money, Tom," buzzed in my head, her voice steady like a Texas oak. My wife's final words, "Hide it," echoed, her distrust of Rick a lifeline I'd ignored too long. I pulled out my laptop, the screen glowing with bank records. $140,000, untouched. Mine. I dialed my lawyer, my hands steady. "Need a duplex, Ben?" I said, voice low. "Something in Dallas, for me and someone who needs it more." He paused, then, "Got a place in Oak Lawn. You sure?" I nodded, though he couldn't see. "Sure as hell." The grandkids' giggles haunted me, but Dana's burden and Rick's lock said I wasn't their family, just an old man to use. I'd build my own, starting with Lisa, a single mom from the food pantry, her boys' hungry eyes like mine in that basement. The duplex closed fast, my half a refuge with oak floors, Lisa's at $1 rent to give her a shot. I stood on the porch, the city's neon flickering, her "You gave us hope, Tom," raw as she moved in. My stomach twisted, not from hunger but purpose. I'd slogged through chemo nights, house sales, their shade, thinking family meant taking hits. Lisa's boys' grins said different. Family's who you lift, not who locks you out. My phone buzzed. Rick's text, "Come back, Tom, or else." I laughed, bitter, the BBQ joint smoke curling outside. Or else? He'd slashed my tires last night, a hoodie limping away on my new cameras, his knee surgery a dead giveaway. Clara's "They're scared, Tom," landed sharp. I called Ben again. "Rewrite my will," I said, my voice hard. "No Dana, no Rick. Lisa's boys get it all." He scribbled his "You're sure?" faint. "Damn sure," I growled, my chest light. A photo came through. Me and Lisa's boys, scrawled "trash" in marker. My jaw tightened, Rick's stray kids jab from his voicemail raw. I logged it, Clara's "nail 'em" fierce in my ear. I'd paid for Dana's college, her wedding, their house, and got a locked pantry for it. Their Oak Cliff porch, their nuclear family, their lies, they were a con, and I'd been the mark. Not no more. Ben's "will lock the will tight" grounded me, my duplex's oak porch creaking like a promise. Lisa's boys raced past, their Grandpa Tom hitting soft. "Y'all stay out of trouble," I teased, my voice steady. Clara swung by, her "you're free" sharp over coffee. "Rick's spooked," she said, scrolling. "His business is tankin'." I nodded, my mug warm. Their shade, Dana's soup stirring, Rick's key grab, was their truth, not mine. I'd fought through my wife's loss, their fraud, to build this. Flashback to last winter, Dana's Oak Cliff kitchen, 2023. I'd just paid their electric bill, Dana's move-in dad soft. Rick smirked, said, "Organized." I stood there, my pension drained, my wife's slippers gone. No thanks. I thought that's what family was, giving till you broke. I stepped onto my porch, the deep elm neon glowing, oak trees swaying like sentinels. Rick's threats, Dana's silence, they thought I'd cave, but I'd burned that bridge. My $140,000 was mine, my duplex, my stand. The grandkids deserved a grandpa, but I deserved respect. Not a cage. They'd learn real quick what nothing meant when their lies caught up. Ever fight kin's shade with your own rules? Drop it below. My boots creaked on the oak porch of my Oak Lawn duplex, September 2024. The Dallas dusk heavy with BBQ smoke. A guardianship petition crumpled in my fist, its paper sharp as a razor. Dana's "you're unfit" claim, and Rick's slashed tire limp burned like a fresh wound, their trash photo of me and Lisa's boys still raw. My $140,000 duplex hummed behind me, Lisa's kids' laughter soft inside, the deep elm neon flickering down the street. I'd fled their Oak Cliff cage, half paid by my pension, with $300 from Rick's vault, but now they were gunning for my freedom, thinking they could lock me up again. I leaned against the porch rail, my flannel shirt loose, the petition's words, mentally unstable, manipulated, twisting my gut like a bad kolache. Dana had filed for guardianship, claiming I couldn't handle my own money. Her SUV lurking outside last week caught on my cameras. Rick's contest everything text from the motel days hissed in my mind. Clara's "they're desperate" Tom Sharp over coffee yesterday. I'd built this duplex for me and Lisa, a single mom from the pantry, but their shade, Dana's burden, Rick's lock, was back, dirtier than ever. I stormed inside, the oak floors steady under my boots. Lisa's "You okay, Tom?" soft from the kitchen. "Not yet," I grunted, tossing the petition on the counter. My phone buzzed. CPS had knocked yesterday, a neglect claim against Lisa, her boy's scared eyes haunting me. "It's Rick," I said, my jaw tight. She nodded, her hands trembling. "They're after you too." I'd slogged through my wife's cancer, their pantry lock, my grief, to give Lisa a chance, and now they'd dragged her kids into their game. I dialed Ben, my lawyer, my voice hard. "Dismiss this, Ben. It's lies." He flipped pages, his drawl calm. "Got it, Tom. We'll hit back. Rick's got dirt." My chest eased, Clara's "nail 'em" echoing. Ben's digging had found Rick's fraud. $7,800 on a credit card in my name, spent on flights, gadgets, even their damn vacation. "File a restraining order too," I said, my hands steady. "Keep 'em away from Lisa's boys." He scribbled, "Court's next week. We're solid." The next day, CPS came again, their "cohabitating with an unstable man" claim raw. I stood tall, my flannel crisp. "I'm no threat," I said, Lisa's boys clinging to her. "Check Rick's record, not mine." They left, case closed in days, but Lisa's "I knew they'd use you" broke my heart. I'd paid for Dana's college, their house, and got mustard for it. Their unfit lie was a con, and I'd been the mark too long. Court day hit, my boots scuffing the Dallas courthouse steps. Ben's "We got this" firm. Dana's folder, claiming I was suicidal, using my grief-soaked email, flopped like a bad bluff. Ben laid out Rick's fraud, the slashed tires, the CPS stunt, his restraining order motion tight. The judge's gavel fell. Dismissed. Order granted. Dana's face crumpled. Rick's glare faded. Their Oak Cliff house a weight they couldn't spin. I walked out, my chest light. Clara's "You're free" buzzing. Back on my porch, Lisa's "You saved us" landed soft, her boys' hugs warm. "Just doing right," I said, my voice low. A text pinged. Rick's "You'll regret this" blocked mid-sentence. Clara swung by, her "They're sinkin' Tom Sharp over sweet tea." "Rick's business is toast," she said, scrolling. "Dana's filing for divorce." My laugh came raw, the jukebox thumping down the street. Their burden, their stray kids, it was their truth, not mine. Flashback to last spring, Dana's Oak Cliff kitchen, 2023. I'd paid their water bill. Dana's "Move-in, Dad" soft. Rick smirked, said, "Organized." I stood there, my pension drained, my wife's slippers gone. No thanks. I thought family meant giving till you broke. I sank into my porch chair, the city's oak trees swaying like sentinels. Lisa's boys' "Grandpa Tom" echoed, their drawing, us as heroes, pinned inside. I'd fought through their lock, their lies, my wife's loss, to build this, Lisa's chance, my stand. They thought they'd cage me, but I'd burned that bridge. Dana wanted control? She'd lose her house. Rick wanted a fight? He'd lose his name. I wasn't their burden no more. I was Tom, survivor, free. Ever face kin's lies and win? Drop it below. My oak lawn duplex porch creaked under my boots. December 2024. The Dallas morning crisp with coffee steam rising from my mug. A kolache wrapper crumpled from the Deep Ellum Cafe down the street. Dana's unfit guardianship flop and Rick's slashed tire stunt were ash now, their CPS lie buried by my court win. My $140,000 duplex hummed, Lisa's boys' laughter spilling from her side, the Oak Cliff house, half paid by my pension, their fading stage. I wasn't their burden no more, and this porch, oak trees swaying outside, was my stand. I leaned against the rail, my flannel shirt rolled, the city's neon soft in the dawn. My civil suit had nailed Rick's $7,800 credit card fraud, flights, gadgets, their damn vacation, all on my name. Ben, my lawyer, laid it bare in court. Rick's consulting scam collapsing under 3 client lawsuits, his office now a for lease sign. Dana's divorce papers hit last week, her I didn't know text unanswered. Clara's "You crushed 'em, Tom" buzzed yesterday, her drawl fierce over sweet tea. My chest felt light, like I'd shed a weight I'd carried since my wife's passing. Lisa stepped out. Her "You okay, Tom?" soft, her boy's Grandpa Tom trailing. "Better'n ever," I said, grinning, my mug warm. "Duplex is yours, Lisa. Deeds signed." Her eyes widened, tears spilling. "You gave us a life," she choked, hugging me tight, her boys piling on. I'd slogged through chemo nights, their pantry lock, my grief, to give 'em this, a home, not a cage. Their "You're our hero" hit like a Texas sunrise, grounding me deeper than their Oak Cliff shade. Clara swung by, scrolling her phone. "Rick's done, Tom. Folks won't touch him. Word's out." She showed me Dana's post. "Starting over, y'all. 10 likes, no replies." My laugh came raw, the jukebox from a nearby bar thumping. I'd paid for Dana's college, their house, got mustard for it, and now their lies were crashing. Rick's warrant loomed, his stray kids jab at Lisa's boys a desperate swing that missed. Dana's burden was her truth, not mine. I sat Lisa's boys down, their eyes wide. "Why'd they hurt you, Grandpa?" one asked, his voice small. My throat tightened, Dana's soup-stirring flashing back. "Some folks dim others to feel big," I said, voice low. "But you're bigger, and so am I." Their nods, Lisa's "you're teaching 'em right" soft, steadied me like a deep elm oak. I'd fought through their fraud, their CPS stunt, to show 'em truth, not shade. Ben called, his suit's won, Tom firm. "Rick owes damages, and his scam's public. You're clear." I nodded, my coffee cooling. "A neighbor's 'You're a legend, Tom,' over brisket last night echoed, their potluck invite pinned inside. I'd built this, Lisa's home, my piece, not for Dana's nuclear family or Rick's lock. Their Oak Cliff porch, their lies, were their mess now, and I wasn't cleaning it up. Dana's final text came. "Dad, I didn't mean it. I was scared." I stared, my jaw tight. "You watched him starve me," I typed, hitting send, then blocked her. Clara's "You're free" buzzed, Lisa's boys' grins warm. I'd carried their weight, Dana's wedding, Rick's smirk, their shade, thinking family meant breaking for him. Lisa's "Your family" and Ben's "Clear" were my roots now. Flashback to last fall, their Oak Cliff kitchen, 2023. I'd paid their gas bill, Dana's "Move in, Dad" soft. Rick smirked, said, "Organized." I stood there, my pension drained, my wife's slippers gone, no thanks. I thought family was giving till you broke. I stood, clearing my mug, the city's neon flickering, oak trees swaying like sentinels. Lisa's drawing, us as heroes, sat inside. Her boy's "Grandpa" my truth. I'd scraped through too much, late nights, their lies, my wife's loss, to let their shade stick. Dana wanted forgiveness? She'd face her divorce. Rick wanted control? He'd face the law. I wasn't their burden no more. I was Tom, survivor, free. Ever expose kin's tricks and walk tall? Drop it below. My Deep Ellum VFW hall buzzed with laughter. June 2025, the Dallas evening thick with BBQ smoke. My coffee mug steaming as Lisa's boys darted through the crowd, their grins mixing with VFW pals swapping tales over kolaches and pecan pie. I leaned against an oak table, my flannel shirt loose, the neon glow from a nearby bar flickering outside. Dana's burden jab and Rick's $7,800 fraud scam were ghosts now, their Oak Cliff house, half paid by my pension, in foreclosure, per Miss June's gossip. I wasn't their punching bag no more, and this potluck was my family, warm and real. I sipped coffee, my VFW badge pinned proud, my food drive this spring packing the pantry for folks like Lisa. My duplex deed was hers, my pension safe, Rick's business a for lease sign after my suit crushed his fraud. Dana's divorce was final, her I didn't know text ash in my trash. Clara's "You're home, Tom" buzzed last night, her drawl fierce. My chest felt light, like I'd shed a cage since my wife's passing. Lisa handed me a brisket plate, her "You good, Tom?" soft. "Better'n good, darlin'," I said, grinning, her boy's Grandpa Tom, warm. "Why'd they call you bad?" one asked, eyes wide. My throat caught, Dana's soup stirring flashing back. "Some folks hurt to feel big," I said, voice low. "But we're bigger, kid." His nod, Lisa's "You're teaching 'em right" soft, hit like a Texas sunrise, grounding me deeper than their shade. Clara raised her glass, the crowd hushing. "To Tom, y'all! Our rock!" Cheers erupted, Miss June's "Damn right" loud. I smiled, my mug warm. "Thanks, folks," I said, my voice steady. "Family's who shows up, not who locks you out." Lisa's hug, her boys' grins, VFW nods wrapped me like a quilt. I'd carried Dana's burden, Rick's stray kids jab, their lies, thinking family meant breaking for 'em. Lisa's "Your family" and Clara's "You won" were my roots now. Miss June leaned in, her gossip sharp. "Bank's taken Dana's place, Tom. Ain't no saving it." My chest twinged, not guilt, but peace. Their house, their lock, their fraud, it was their mess now. I'd fought through my wife's cancer, their CPS stunt, my grief, to build this. Lisa's home, my VFW crew, a life that saw me. Flashback to last winter, their Oak Cliff porch, 2023. I'd paid their gas bill, Dana's move-in dad soft. Rick smirked, said, "Organized." I stood there, my pension drained, my wife's slippers gone. No thanks. I thought family was giving till you broke. I stepped outside, the VFW's neon glowing, oak trees swaying like sentinels. Lisa's drawing, us as heroes, sat on my fridge, her boy's grandpa, my truth. I'd scraped through too much, late nights, their lies, my wife's loss, to let their shade stick. Dana wanted forgiveness? She'd face her empty house? Rick wanted control? He'd face the law. My phone buzzed. A VFW pal. "Proud of you, Tom." I pocketed it, free. The potluck's warmth hit me, oak shadows dancing like hope. They'd tried to break me, but Lisa's boys, Clara's won, VFW cheers lit my way. I'd built a family that saw me, brick by brick, brighter than their lies. Ever find peace after kin's shade? Drop it below and subscribe to my channel for more Reddit stories that hit hard.